Hey guys, it's Jack Lockjaw, and today I'm doing a strategy video, specifically for Rainbow Six Siege and my favorite operator in the game, Frost. In particular, I want to talk about the welcome mats and their placement. I won't necessarily be talking about exactly where to put them, but more the idea of how to lay traps and the thought process that goes into effective placements. I play with a bunch of friends that, in general, are much better at the game than I am. They're better at winning gunfights, and they're better at positioning and covering their flanks. But the main feedback I get from the team is that I have some effective trap placements.
I have some mats in the freezer.
Is one under the hatch though?
Yes! Yes!
Nice.
Jack, I love it, dude! It happens way too much. I love it.
Of course, nothing in the game is guaranteed to be effective. Each match is different, and each round is different. When you're using a trap operator, you're taking a gamble. I'd argue this is true with any operator that has a gadget, like Capcan, Mute, Bandit, Valkyrie, and so on. You're taking a bet that the enemy will 1. Approach from the direction that you set up, 2. Won't see it and destroy it, and 3. Will happen to step at exactly the right spot to be taken out. It's a lot to take into consideration. However, when it does work, it's a fantastic thing and can absolutely win the round for your team. With that in mind, here are some things to consider when placing your welcome mats. The first thing I do is generally wait for the drone round to be over, or for all the drones to be destroyed. If the enemy sees where you're placing your traps, they'll tell all their friends and the effectiveness drops exponentially. Because of this, it's always helpful to have Mute on the team to stop enemy intel. It can be risky to wait until the last part of the round to place your traps, especially if you're placing it in a frequently rushed entry point, but in general, it's 100% better if the enemy doesn't witness you placing your mats. The second thing to think about is how accessible the trap is to you and your teammates. This can be the most frustrating thing about welcome mats. You hear someone step in it, but nobody's around to finish them off. By the time anyone knows where it happened, the enemy team already picked up the downed operator. To avoid this, I would recommend placing all your traps within a small radius. They don't all have to be in the same room, but it is helpful if you or a team member can quickly gain access to the downed operator for a quick and easy kill. One of the tricks I like to employ is on wooden floors and ceilings. Consider shooting a hole through the floor before placing the mat. When the enemy falls, all you have to do is aim at the hole in the ceiling. Consider where the enemy is going to be looking when they approach the mat. The closer to the objective they are, the more likely that the other player will be scoped in and checking the corners. Hiding the welcome mat in or near the objective increases the likelihood that they'll take someone down. Outside the objective, the enemy will be trying to look in, checking the usual spots for heads. As they move around, they generally won't be watching their feet. Inside the objective, rather than placing a mat in the pathway the enemy will follow, I like to place mine in corners. Places the enemy will strafe into, or places the enemy will try to hide once the securing begins. Don't be afraid to place mats in locations that don't seem to make sense at first. Visualize where you are in the room and where you'd be standing, aiming, and hiding. The main drawback here is that with the increased popularity of Fuse, I tend to put more mats in rooms leading to the objective rather than directly inside. One of my favorite tricks is to use the barbed wire to route the enemy movement. If you present a clear and easy pathway to avoid the barbed wire, the enemy will usually take it. Close to the objective, place barbed wire where it can easily be avoided by backing up, or going around, or strafing to the side, or vaulting over an object. This is one of the tactics I've seen used the least, and is probably my most successful strategy. Some situational tactics that can be used are placing a mat behind a partially broken door to invite players to vault through, placing a mat under one window that's been completely torn out, giving the enemy player an enticing zero noise entry pathway into the building, using plants and key areas to disguise your mat, using dark areas or shadows to obscure your mats, and placing your mat inside an impact grenaded wall. And that's pretty much it. Windows and shielded doorways aren't the only place to put these things. Pick a direction to defend, envision where you would go, and where you'd be looking if you were approaching the objective. And most importantly, cross your fingers. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this helps you out with your frost mat placements. As usual, you can find me on Twitter under Jack Lockjaw. Sometimes you can find me on Twitch, also under Jack Lockjaw. And you can send me an email at corruptsavemail@gmail.com. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and share it with anyone who you think this might help out. Thanks.
You gotta pick Jaeger and get killed immediately.
Oh,
Oh,
got
that's a
frost
trap, Jack. Where's that?
In the, no, I got her.
Okay, nice. Another one pushing.
I got another one.
Trap. Yes.
Oh,
Oh, they just got my yokai?